Lucid Motors and Churchill Capital has been a very hot topic over the last couple of days. Such a hot topic that we did see Churchill Capital stocks, ticker symbol CCIV, do a halt today. It was a full-blown circuit breaker. It did have a little bit of a pause. The volume has been absolutely insane. And the fact that it has just become such a hot topic in such a fast period of time has been absolutely amazing to watch. Well, of course, whenever these hot stocks come around, whenever these companies that seem to be very fascinating do pop up, you know I will always cover them for you guys because you all ask, and whenever you ask, I will deliver. Now, with that being said, before we get into the video, I did want to let you guys know that the Patreon has now been active and up. We have about 50 plus members already in it. It has been an amazing community of traders and investors who bounce ideas off of each other, talk about their own trades. I post my trades and portfolio updates every single day, every single hour really that I made trades. I was in there updating everyone. I have a few other team of investors who, help me out with my trades and give me advice. They're also in there interacting with all of the Patreons. It's been an absolutely amazing first day. So if you are interested in that, I do believe that it could be a fantastic opportunity for anyone. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and let's jump into it and let's see what is all going on and what is all the hype about and all of this news between Lucid Dreams and Churchill Capital, ticker symbol CCIV. So a lot of this hype is coming around the fact that there is potential and there has been speculations and rumors that there's a potential merger and a new SPAC coming up on the market, but in a merge between, of course, Churchill Capital and Lucid Motors. Now, this is not your typical SPAC. This is not, just your typical, merger where it's a company that's in the conceptuality phase where they're still coming up with ideas, and then there's this other acquisition company who's going to make it go public. No. This Lucid Motors is a very, very real company who's doing very real things. Now, I'm going to go ahead, before we even jump into any of the research, I'm going to pull up a video from their facility and just show you how big one of their production facilities is. So here we can see that this thing is absolutely huge. Like, look at that. Look how amazing this looks. And the fact that this company is not even that old. This company has not been around for very long. And to be able to see all of how fast they put this thing together and how beautiful of a facility it is with all of these different employees, absolutely amazing. So kudos to them for being able to get this thing up and off the ground that quick. Now, with that being said, what is this company's goal, right? Because now I will go ahead and I will say that this is all at the moment speculation. We have not got any confirmation that this SPAC merger is going to happen. There is no actual proof that it will happen. But there are rumors, and there have been rumors going around that make it really seem like it could. And so that's really where the majority of the hype is coming from. But potentially, if this thing does come together and we do see that this SPAC does come around, well, what is this company Lucid Motors all about? So their goal is that the spirit of California moves them to think beyond mobility and design for a world where life is the most important journey we'll ever take. To look beyond tomorrow and shape a future where we have no longer have to choose between doing great things and doing the right thing, and to explore beyond ourselves and create experiences that remind us what it is like to truly feel alive. Now, whenever it comes to sustainability, of course, this is an electric vehicle company, so their main goal here is going to be sustainability. They aim to create a sustainable mobility without compromise in cars that are intuitive, liberating, and designed for all of the ways people get around. At Lucid, we place an exceptionally high priority on efficiency. Our cars must make the best possible use of the world's resources, so every Lucid delivers exceptional range without sacrificing high performance or sublime comfort. Now, with that being said, whenever it does come to the site that we did see, it says that they evaluated over 60 sites in 13 different states, and they choose a 500-acre property in Casa Grande, Arizona, located between Phoenix and Tucson. Now, this, as we can see here, it is absolutely huge. The facility is the first greenfield or purpose-built EV factory in North America, which is true, designed to our exact specifications. It is being built with such efficiency and speed that we will complete construction of its first phase a mere 12 months after breaking ground. That's crazy. They take longer to do the roads outside my house than 12 months. It is outfitted with the world's most advanced production line equipment. The factory will have the initial capacity to produce 10,000 cars a year and over 300,000 annually with the planned expansion. So that could be absolutely huge, especially the fact that this is not concept. This is not like, oh, look, we want to go do this. No, this is in effect. Like, they are already getting this thing built. From the looks of it, it seems like it's almost finished. And they are actually making the right moves to take the steps to get to mainstream, to get to actually being out on the market, selling their cars, selling their vehicles out to people, and really getting this thing up off the ground. The fact that this thing was expected to be finished and built within 12 months of starting. I don't know if any of you understand construction or have just simply had construction outside your house. It takes forever, like forever for no reason sometimes. And the fact that over the course of 12 months, they're going to be capable of putting up this entire factory that can produce up to between 10 and 300,000 cars a year. Insane. Absolutely phenomenal. Now, their technology is actually quite intriguing because a lot of their facts and a lot of the evidence behind their, studies and their electric vehicles was actually done like through race testing and testing it out in the capabilities of them in racing. Now, these can be used as race cars, but they can also be used as, your everyday vehicle if you want to go on the highway or something like that. So here we are, and it says that we built the Lucid Air to achieve benchmark setting range without compromising any of the high performance that makes it an extraordinary driver's car. Now, as we can see here a little bit, we can see the car, but we will see it in a little bit further down the slide here. Now, it says that their world-class battery technology has been proven time and time again in competition in the world's leading electric motorsport racing championship via our Atieva technology unit. And the Lucid Air has established itself as a world-class performer on the highway and at the track. So again, right there, you can see that it is multi-use. This isn't specifically for racing, which is how I took it at first, not gonna lie. But with some further research, we will be able to see that this thing has multi-use. Now, this is very, very big whenever it comes to electric vehicles because it seemingly is becoming more and more important. Now, it says that Lucid's technology arm, Atieva, develops and builds the battery packs powering every car on the grid in the world's leading electric racing championship field. Thanks to this advanced battery technology, the drivers complete full races on a single charge, often with power to spare, and with complete reliability over multiple seasons. You'll find the same race-proven technology from Atieva in your Lucid Air 2. Insane. Absolutely phenomenal. That's how you know. That's how you know. With this, if you know anything about racing, and especially if you talk about electric vehicles a lot and you understand the charges on those, being able to complete a full race on a single charge is not easy to do, especially in comparison to some of the charges that we have seen in previous electric vehicles from other companies. Now, if we do actually go over to the frequently asked questions, we can see that they have a lot of capabilities for charging for people who don't obviously want to use this on the racetrack, as the majority of their consumers will not, in my opinion. Now, it says that with the Lucid Air's combined charging systems plug, you can charge at most public stations without needing an adapter. Our partnership with Electrify America gives you easy access to a nationwide network of over 440 charging stations within 2,000 charging stalls and charging power up to 350 kilowatts, more than most electric vehicles can accept. Now, currently, this fast-growing network can put 90% of Americans within 120 miles of an Electrify America charging station. Lucid Air's remarkable efficiency and range mean it can go further on a single charge than the typical luxury sedan on a tank of gas, easily traveling between Los Angeles and San Francisco, for instance, within miles of range to spare. Now, whenever I did first hear about this company, I was actually quite curious because whenever you are introducing new electric vehicles to the market, a big question is what's the infrastructure plan going to be? Because yeah, you can have all of these EVs and they look amazing, they perform phenomenally, but at the end of the day, if I want to drive my car, my new, my Lucid Air, if I want to drive it from here, Louisiana, all the way up to maybe Colorado, can I do it? Is there enough infrastructure and is there going to be enough stations in which I can then power my car to continue driving? Because if not, I'm not going to get the car realistically, because if I get a car, I don't want to only be able to drive it around town, right? And then that's the thing as well. What if some of these people don't have any access to charging stations? So realistically, if they're in a city that one's not even 120 miles away, are they going to, drive all the way out there to go charge their car to drive it all the way back to already be on half a charge? You know what I mean? And so that's something you always have to consider whenever we're talking about electric vehicle companies, is that it's not as simple as just going to a gas station because there's 30 of them within a mile. There's very specific places that you have to go in order to continue to drive these electric vehicles. And this company does seem to have a very good plan in place to be able to, provide for those needs. Now, with the cars that they are currently delivering, it says that they sell vehicles directly to customers at company-owned Lucid studios, staffed with representatives employed by Lucid Motors. They also directly manage their Lucid service centers and mobile service operations. So they're actually not outsourcing that. That's kind of cool. And we can also see here a few of their different locations, because it does say, of course, that they sell them out of their locations. So if you are curious about where the majority of them are, it seems like the majority will be in California, with a few being in Florida as well. But it is pretty nice seeing one up in New York, and right in Virginia, as those are two hot spots for electric vehicles right now as well. Now, one thing that I did want to go take a look at is if we go back out and we go to future models, this is something that I'm actually seeing a lot of people be very, very excited about, and it's going to be this luxury sedan. Because of course people do like, their good cars and everything, but the luxury sedan market and the electric vehicle market is not something that we have seen a lot of. Now, we have seen DSG Global's subsidiary Imperium Motors announce the release of their electric SUV, so it does seem like the EV SUV market is starting to grow in interest and people are starting to get excited about it. Now, we can see some brief pictures here showing how, pretty nice this thing does look. We're not getting a very clear picture from any of these, but just from this one alone, we can see that it does look pretty dang on nice. So I'm quite curious to see when it will come out and when we can start to see how many consumers will actually be interested in getting in on it. Now that we have seen their products, the question comes down to it of who runs this operation. Well, here we are looking at Peter Rawlinson. He is serving as the CEO and the CTO, this Chief Technology Officer of Lucid Motors. Now, as CEO, Peter is responsible for all strategic and business aspects of the company. As a CFO, the Chief Technology Officer, he's responsible for the creation and delivery of all Lucid products. Man has a big job. He brings over 30 years of automotive industry experience to bear in these roles. Prior to Lucid, Peter was a vice president of vehicle engineering at Tesla. People have been talking about this like crazy. And the chief engineer of the Model S. So this man has seen the ins and outs of a successful production of a very, very popular electric vehicle. And that experience alone, I think, is going to put this company ahead of almost all of the other EV companies. Now, he led the engineering of the Model S from a clean sheet to production readiness while building the engineering team. So again, right there, he built the engineering team that went into the development of the Model S. If he was capable of doing it there, I see no reason as to why he doesn't know what is, acceptable and what are the right people to bring on to be able to, produce these amazing products that we have seen some little hints and glimpses at. Now, he's a graduate from Imperial College, the University of London, and Peter was formerly the head of the vehicle engineering at Chorus Automotive. He was a chief engineer at Lotus Cars and principal engineer at Jaguar Cars. He has insane experience, man. He knows this market in and out. No wonder we're seeing this thing building and coming off the ground so fast. Now, I do not have any real information about their financials at the moment whenever it comes to this company, so if I do find that, I will make sure to update you guys as soon as possible. Now, I did want to discuss one thing because, you guys know I love breaking down the company overview, the product focus, the future and the management, and then I like talking about the financials and the risk. Now, when it comes to risk with this company itself, it's not with this company. I don't think there's much risk with this one, but the risk is going to be with CCIV, Churchill Capital, because these are all rumor. Now, the biggest risk that is very clear and on the table, the elephant in the room, is the fact that these rumors have not been confirmed yet. And with that being said, a lot of this trade is off of speculation. So what that means is if it's going up due to, positive speculation, inversely, if we see this thing start to drop or, this company says, no, we're not doing this merger, well, then I think we're going to see this stock get crushed. So if you are planning on potentially investing in this company, understand that risk, that a lot of this is dependent on whether they choose whether or not they are going to do this SPAC agreement with Churchill Capital too. Now, with that being said, again, I am not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice. If you do go ahead and you choose to make these investments, you need to understand the risk and do your own research. But with that being said, now let's go over it. Let's take a look at the stock. Let's see what the stock price has done. And I actually want to point out something very special about Churchill Capital. So as we can see here, that Churchill Capital was not doing too much over the last, honestly, like 6 months roughly. It has just been completely dead, not too much going on whatsoever. And then here we start to see this thing really take off. Now, over the last 5 days, it has been a substantial gain of almost 100%. But honestly, I do believe that this is going to continue to go up. We did see a nice little dip here, which is never a bad thing, honestly, in my opinion. Whenever we see a day where it just simply does not grow too much, which honestly, there was still some growth. But once we saw this peak here, it took a break, it slowed down, and then it seemed like it had that drop, that negative momentum. And then today was a bit of a chill out day where we saw a little bit of a gain, but nothing too crazy. For me personally, that is usually whenever I start to go in. I never ever like to go in like right here whenever we're seeing it really go up. I tend to wait for the big drop for it to seem almost as if it's meeting resistance, and then once we start to see a bit of a gain is typically when I go in. Now, of course, this is contingent upon what happens over the rest of this weekend. We may get some news, we may not. Market open on Tuesday after the holiday could also be very interesting, but I will be keeping an eye out on this one. I will not 100% say yes or no on whether I will be investing into this one, simply simply for the fact that I don't like the fact it's solely trading off of hype and speculation of a merger. I think that that's super duper risky, and it's almost like flipping a coin, and the odds with penny stocks are already so low that that could be a very risky investment for sure. So overall, this company does seem very, very interesting. I think that there are so many what ifs around the potential SPAC merger that it does make me personally feel like I'm going to hold off until we get some more news about it. Now, realistically, if this, if it is confirmed and the SPAC is confirmed, I think this thing's going to take off. It's at like, what, 17 now? Let me double check that. It's sitting somewhere around 1836. I honestly think if this gets confirmed, we could see this thing hit like 20-25 range. But the issue is, I honestly do believe that if they say that it's not happening, we may see this thing drop all the way between like under $10. So it all just depends on that. That's not necessarily a play I personally like to make, simply for the fact that it's not based off of fundamentals, but more speculation, and that's just not my field. Let me know what your guys' opinions are on it. If you have gotten in, if you've made some profits, definitely let me know in the comment section below. I'm quite curious to see what your trades were. I hope you guys did enjoy today's analysis. I really wanted to make sure I broke down what this company was all about, what their product focuses were, the management, and everything like that. So let me know what you thought about the analysis. With that being said, if you do have any comments, suggestions, or feedback, definitely let me know in the comment section below. Again, if you do want a fantastic opportunity to join an amazing community of investors and traders, definitely check out the link below in my Patreon, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.